My fellow Americans, the writing is on the wall. The GOP and DOJ are planning massive cuts to Social Security as a way to balance the budget and give a big tax cut to the top 1%. We're going to listen to four different GOP members say out loud what they have been saying behind closed doors, that they want to gut Social Security. What will this mean for your benefits? Watch the rest of the video to find out. But first, if you think Trump and Elon should keep their hands off Social Security, drop a comment down below and let us know. We want to hear what you have to say. Now, in order for Trump and Elon to make big cuts to Social Security, they first have to convince Americans that Social Security is full of fraud and abuse. If they can convince us that the system is broken, then it's easier for them to gut the entire agency and privatize Social Security, which is what they want to do. So, watch as their first steps are to sow distrust in Social Security. The truth is, Social Security is one of the best run administrations with the lowest level of fraud in the country. Less than 0.1% of benefits go to someone it shouldn't go to. That's a very good track record for an agency with over 70 million recipients and trillions of dollars of payments. Now let's get into the first GOP member to openly say Social Security benefits should be canceled. Listen to the Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, a billionaire, say that nothing would happen to his mother if Social Security checks stopped.
Let's say Social Security didn't send out their checks this month. My mother-in-law, who's 94, she wouldn't call and complain. She just wouldn't. She'd think something got messed up, and she'll get it next month.
Yeah.
A fraudster always makes the loudest noise, screaming, yelling, and complaining. And if all the guys who did PayPal, like Elon knows this by heart, right? Anybody who's been in the payment system and the process system knows the easiest way to find the fraudster is to stop payments and listen.
Yeah.
Because whoever screams is the one stealing.
Keep in mind, this guy is a billionaire. Of course, nothing would happen to his 94-year-old mother. But what about seniors living paycheck to paycheck? Are they not allowed to complain if Social Security checks stop coming? Would they be considered fraudsters if they complain about their missing benefits? Americans earn their Social Security benefits. It's not a handout. We pay into the system our whole lives, and who are these billionaires that want to put their hands on our earned benefits? Now, let's listen to Elon call Social Security a Ponzi scheme. Keep in mind, this is only so they can then convince us that Social Security needs to be abolished and turned into a private fund. Here, Elon repeats a lie that there are millions of dead people collecting Social Security.
Just with a basic search of the Social Security database, that there were 20 million dead people marked as alive. Because they're marked as alive in the Social Security database, that they can then get disability, unemployment, sort of fake medical payments and other things.
That's not true. There are millions of dead people who do not have a death date because it's unknown, but they are not collecting Social Security.
Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time. Have you ever looked at the debt clock?
Yes.
Okay. There's our present day debt, but then there's our future obligations. So when you look at the future obligations of Social Security, the actual national debt is like double what people think it is.
In order to qualify for benefits, you need to go through a lengthy and very detailed application process, and anyone over 100 years old automatically gets a house visit every year. He then says Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. That is also a lie. Social Security is paid into by working Americans. Congress has dipped into Social Security and borrowed from it over the years, and that's why it's at risk of not being able to pay everyone in 10 years. And Elon knows that, but he is just peddling a lie to make it easier to shut the whole thing down at a later date. Now, let's listen to GOP Senator John Curtis say he plans to introduce a change to Social Security in a couple of months.
Let me ask you, because Elon Musk ruffled some feathers when he referred to Social Security, something that he's also eyeing as a part of his Doge efforts, as a Ponzi scheme. Senator, do you see Social Security as a Ponzi scheme?
Well, I wouldn't use those words, but we're not being honest either with people. And that's why you'll actually see me in a couple of months introduce a change to Social Security. We're not being honest when we look people in the eye and say we're not going to.
Actually, it's Senator Curtis who's not being honest. Americans have paid into Social Security, and they earned the benefits. If he wants to be honest, he would say that Congress was the one to raid the Social Security coffers, and that's why it won't have enough to pay out in 10 years. But that doesn't mean it's a failure. Social Security has done more to raise Americans out of poverty than any other program in history. But the GOP are determined to shut it down because it costs so much every year. They want to dip into the remaining trust fund and privatize the entire agency by making their Wall Street buddies rich. Let's listen to Trump repeat lie after lie during his address to the Americans when he said 109 and 120-year-old Americans are getting Social Security payments. It's not true. They are on the Social Security database, but they are not receiving benefits. Listen closely.
We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors and that our seniors and people that we love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old. It lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly.
So he keeps saying it lists, but he doesn't say they get any payments. Listen carefully.
3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129. 3.9 million people from ages 130 to 139. 3.5 million people from ages 140 to 149. And money is being paid to many of them.
So why is he saying this? Because he is trying to create a false reason why Social Security should be shut down. It starts like this, and then they have an excuse to make dramatic cuts. Keep that in mind as you listen to the speech. It's all so they can take away earned benefits from hardworking Americans and give their billionaire friends a huge profit. He says money is being paid to some of them, but he doesn't say how many. In fact, Social Security is very efficient in identifying deceased people and stopping their payments. If anyone had a relative pass away who was collecting Social Security, you know this happens very quickly. So this GOP lie that Social Security is full of fraud and abuse is just an attempt to fool the American people and create an excuse to shut the agency down. So, what can we do about it? First, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss an update about what they plan to do with Social Security. Then call or write your representative in Congress. Make your voice heard and tell them to keep their hands off Social Security. I'm going to keep bringing you the latest in what this administration is doing to Social Security. Be sure to subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell so you get all the latest info. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.